disastrous, the center, with your host, DC Radical One.
Greetings, friends, family, allies, and enemies. I am your host, DC Radical One, and you have entered the center. Shout out to our wonderful producer, Cindy Ashby. You can check us out on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, Podcast, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and iHeartRadio at On the Wake Up Radio. Also, you can check us out at otwtube.com. That's otwtube.com. Dispensed with the pleasantries, if you will. Let me see who's in the building. BB48, Straight Black Pride, the Brother Crow. BB48, brother, you got ripped off. BB48, Sister Fontanessa. BB48, Straight Black Pride to Brother Kevin. Let me say, before I get started, while I'm waiting for people to come in, I was not, this was not planned until I was editing. Oh, first of all, I can get a sound check. Make sure y'all can hear me. If I sound distracted, it's because I am. Somebody sending me a message. Okay. Oh, yeah. So here's what happened. I wasn't going to do anything. Yeah, all right. And I'll tell y'all what happened. And then I'll give y'all the behind the scenes. And then we can actually get started with the program. Because I plan to be over here by 10. Because it's not really that deep a conversation, to be completely honest. So I was doing some editing. And then I remembered, I said, oh yeah, I got some footage on a memory card. I need to look through. So I went and got the stuff on the memory card. And the footage for the Save America rally from the summer was on there. And I was like, oh, I never put the second part on my computer, or at least I couldn't find it, right? So, I loaded that up and I started messing with it, and then, I called Jamie to get some files from him. Start putting it together or whatever. And then I was looking at the September, chopping it up. And I started working on that. And then I said, you know what? Since everyone is talking about this Kamala thing, and every time I think about it, I'm not gonna lie, it irritates my soul. So let me just go ahead and do this, get this out the way. Now, unless something major happens, this will be the last time I talk about this election. I've had enough. Oh, by the way, brother, you got ripped off. Can you put it in the in the Telegram? Let the people know. No, I didn't film the memorandum 46, brother. Jeannie filmed that, so but yeah, I appreciate that. So yeah, that's what was happening, and so that kind of sparked me to do that. So with that, I'm going to say this: what, because I'm still editing that. This is a this week only thing I'm about to do. This week, I'm going to make that Save America rally video that I am currently working on. So if you don't, and I'll say it again in the midway through before we, get out of here. So if you don't have it, because you can't get it from nobody else, and it's worth your while, especially by the time I'm finished with it, because we had it, and currently adding stuff to it. This week only, I'm gonna make that $20. There are two people have exceptions. Brother, you got Rico has an exception because he got a copy before this one was edited. So I'm gonna send you that. And Brother Jarake, who I don't see in the chat, you will get yours for what you already donated. I believe that was last week. Greetings to Sister Simone, Little Simone, shall we say. So, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's worth more than $20, just as I was looking at it, because it's historic and it was timely, and somehow it's still, well, actually not somehow. Yeah, y'all know a lot of times genie's before time, so he's in time. It's definitely worth more than $20. But I'm gonna do that just because I'm working on it, just because I'm thinking about it. So all you gotta do, send the $20 for that if you want that via Cash App, and shoot me your email if I don't have it. And y'all know how I am with emails. Just because I have your email doesn't mean that I have your email. Sometimes I gotta look for people's emails, and y'all stuff doesn't always show up. I don't know. It's probably human error. I'm not gonna blame anyone else. All right, so that's that. And I'll remind y'all again at 9:05. All right, so let's talk about this. So as y'all, I'm sure know, Miss Harris, Imhoff. I wonder why she doesn't hyphenate her name, Harris Imhoff. So Miss Imhoff, whichever y'all prefer. Recently, like yesterday maybe, came out with a proposal for black men. But how this actually occurred, we're going to go through at least how I saw it. Now, if I got things out of order, y'all can let me know. We're like, nah, brother, such and such and such happened. But I'm going to let y'all know the things that I saw. And then we'll talk about what I think it means. And then we'll close out. So, hold on. Before I get to that too. Okay, here's the reality situation. Because let me speak to the reality of YouTube. I might as well get this out the way too. Here's the reality of YouTube, right? The reality of YouTube is, wow, what we did to reach the level of monetization is actually phenomenal and unexpected. Right? Like when I said when I first said no, get monetized or get deleted trying, I'm not gonna lie, the 75% bet on getting deleted before we got monetized. But here we are, we got monetized. Here's the, lack of a better word, the problem. At the rate that people are currently watching, on average, without, even if you include a couple of outliers, because I do have outliers that like just do literally 25, 30, 35 times what an average video, like 15 times, sometimes 20 times what an average video will do. The reality of the situation is, even though we got more subscribers, we're not getting more viewers. So while I will be putting out more. Well, not more. I will continue to put out content for the next couple of weeks. I will not be putting out the amount of content I continue to put out, especially lives, like live streams and stuff, will continue to be erratic until the viewership kind of matches the BB48 grown Simone. The viewership matches the BB48 for the RBG matches the our growth. So when our growth in viewership matches our growth in subscribers, then it'll be worth it putting out more content. But if I told y'all like what it would really take for me, because y'all know, those who have been around, my goal was always been to get the channel to basically pay for itself. Which that's been the goal. Here's the reality situation. Without super chats, without y'all donations, and I thank everybody that just donates straight up, because there's somebody that donates like almost every time I come on. Small donation, but it adds up, because if I come on like 8 times in a month, you know what I'm saying, that adds up quick. But without those donations, without y'all buying the lectures, without all that stuff, this is a net loss doing YouTube. Because I haven't told y'all. Yeah, I might as well tell you. Get it all out the way so we get started. A lot of my stuff is not does not get fully monetized. So if you watch and you have YouTube Premium, I get a percentage of that. If you don't, but you still watch, depending on what it is, and I'll be honest, most of my live streams have not been fully monetized. The ones that I turned on to be monetized, yeah, I don't get that. So I'm just letting y'all know. So y'all wondering, man, why he always begging for money? Before they straight black pride of brother Desaline. That is why. Because even though we are monetized, we just got monetized. We're a long way from being solvent. So it's kind of like if you start a business, like anybody that's ever had a business, just because you have a business, like you say you make a business plan and you receive funding and you fill out all your paperwork, and let's say it's a physical, you got a storefront or whatever, you rent the storefront or whatever all that stuff is, and you put all that money in on the front end and you start making money. That does not mean that you are making profit. So doing YouTube and being monetized at the beginning of being monetized is very much like that. Yeah, you monetize, but you're not making profit. So I just wanted to say that. Now, all right, let's get into this. So the beginning of this saga between Kamala and black men, to my knowledge, y'all can correct me if I am wrong, started or came on the radar with Magic Johnson, right? So we're gonna get into, at least I think we are, because I gotta think about it, make sure I actually put this up here. We're gonna get into Magic and Johnson. Here we go. Let's go back. Black men should vote for Harris because Trump did not deliver on promises to black community. That's what Magic Johnson said. Now, I'm going to say this. People are going to be mad, but it's an actual fact. Let us remember that of all people, Ice Cube said that, hey, Mr. Trump is offering whatever he was putting on the table at the time, his platinum plan back in 2016, right? And he was willing to negotiate it. It wasn't just like, he's like, all right, this outline, this one I'm putting. And was that 2020? Am I wrong? Is it 2020? Y'all help me out. 2020. Nobody showed up to negotiate, and he subsequently lost the election, and that went by the wayside. 2020, thank you, brother. Right? He put the platinum plan out in 2020. A full-on plan with business opportunities and grants and money and all the type of stuff. We've gone over that before, so that's why I want to go over it again. Right? Now, to my recollection, in 2016, Trump didn't actually put forth a plan for black people. But again, I don't remember us actually thinking, hey, maybe this guy might win. Let's put forth our proposals and see what he says. Now, I do know people in 2020 that did that, but that's another story. So the idea that he didn't deliver on promises, I'm not sure what those promises were. Right? I'm not saying he didn't make it. I'm saying it's been 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't deliver on promises in 2020 because you lost. So we going back 8 years. So here's what I remember about 2016 and 2017. Well, no, he came in 2017. 2017, 2018, 2019. Here's what I remember. The economy was better and things cost less. Now, he didn't promise to do those things, right? Or maybe he did, or whatever. That's just an actual reality of what happened. Then somebody pressed pause on the entire world, and we know the rest, right? Now, in the midst of that, we had an election. He lost. Mr. Biden won. He came in and said, no jab, no job. Right? I mean, that pretty much summed it up for me. You know what I'm saying? Like people can say, hey, well, police were going buck wild under Obama way more than they were going under Trump. Then people can say racism. We've been here for 400 years. Like, if you don't know how to deal with racism after 400 years, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this thing past the censors. That's why I'm not going into it. All I'm going to say is, Malcolm X told us, the Second Amendment is the language of America. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need to know. Second Amendment is the language of America. And not interacting with certain people because you know they don't like you, it helps a lot. You know? What y'all want me to say? Like, that pretty much solves that. So, now, we're going to read this article because I actually don't know what Magic Johnson said, but I do have, I got a video. So we're going to read this article. Y'all know we're going to read this article. Then we're going to watch the video. Before Brother Tony, greetings, Brother Lee. So let's get started, right? Because I've taken up way more time than I meant to actually get started. Says Kamala Harris rallied in Flint, Michigan, which is the hometown of Magic Johnson, and brought along one of the state's most legendary figures to support her. During the rally, NBA legend Irvin Magic Johnson, who was born and grew up in Lansing and attended Michigan State University, located in the state's capital. Johnson, has long been a supporter of the Democratic Party, previously endorsing Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. When he appeared in Flint, Johnson said black men need to vote, but with a conscience. Now let's stop right here. Here's what I want to know. Why is it you only have a conscience when you vote for the Democrats? Right? Now, allow me to take 2 minutes to get on my soapbox. You know what we don't talk about? there are approximately 50 to 60 million black people in America right now, right? There's like 350 million people in America right now. So we're down about 1/7, so 14% or so. You know that we have lost between 20 and 25 million black people through abortion, and abortion is the number one cause that Kamala Harris is pushing for women. I'm gonna say that again. Between 20 and 25 million. That represents 40 to 50% of our population over the last 50 years that was never born. This is something advocated by Democrats. And he talks about voting with a conscience. Think about that for a moment. So if you start with the people who, when it first started, right? If those people happen to be born and they happen to live long enough to reproduce, many of them would be grandparents. I estimate that we actually should have 100 million black people in America if it wasn't for abortion. We would represent 33% of the population of America. Just by the sheer numbers of the democratic process, we would be in a different political position. So when he talks about voting with a conscience, I gotta hurry up and get that Umar thing so I can press the button. Is because it's I beg your pardon time. We've been undergoing a voluntary, slow genocide. And when people pause and even look around and think about it, we get lectured to. Right? So that's why when I think about it, I get incensed. And I know it doesn't sound like I'm very agitated right now because, when you understand that somebody is your enemy, you don't get as angry, right? But the part that angers me is really the deceit, even more so than the act. It's almost like the cheating thing. They talk about cheating, and people are like, it's not even what you're doing; it's the fact you lied. It's almost like that. Although I'm not gonna lie, the cheating thing, what you're doing and lying is a double whammy. You know what I'm saying? To me, but this is the same thing. It's a double whammy. So just on that one issue, we're being destroyed. And he talks about voting with a conscience. See, these fear tactics, right? Of the boogeyman Trump. And the part that I really despise, it, is this idea that Trump, it is almost like he's the only racist in America, and if we don't vote for him, racism stops. That's how they talk, which is a lie. And let's be honest, all racist people in America are not Republicans. In fact, if we're gonna be honest, all people who are anti-black aren't even white. We got anti-black Hispanics, anti-black Chinese, anti-black Indian, and I could go on and on. In fact, if you know anything about Indian society, you know they are extremely anti-black. So you talk about voting with a conscience, you talk about voting for a woman that comes from a society or descended from a society that is just intrinsically anti-black. The black people in India are called untouchable. Right? So this idea of voting with a conscience, with this bootlicker who's been bending over and giving evil an opening for 40 years, start bumping his gums, it makes me want to vomit listening to these cowardly bootlicking Negroes. But I digress. Let us return to the article. Says, when he appeared in Flint, Johnson said black men need to vote, but with a conscience. Johnson added that black men need to understand that Donald Trump did not deliver on promises he made to the black community. So they should vote for Harris, Johnson said. Now, there's a lot of black men in here, our black men. We got to get them to vote. That's number one, Johnson said. Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things last time to the black community that he did not deliver on. Let's see. We got to make sure we help black men to understand that. So that's why I'm here, to make sure I help black men understand first, get out and vote, and then vote for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. Let's stop right here. Who is he talking to if black men are in there and you're talking to someone else instead of actually talking to the men? You see what I'm saying? He said there's a lot of black men in here. Then he said, we got to get them to understand. Like, that's like me coming in here. That's like me. That's like y'all come to one of my lectures and I walk in and I say, look, there's a lot of children in here and I need y'all to make them understand that they're going to have to be quiet while I do my presentation. That's what he's talking about. That's how he's talking, right? He's talking about some children. It makes me... Greetings to Ray Vic. B48. The condescending nature and the pandering is so vile and disrespectful. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was a boy, I looked up to this man, and then started to see him, because we're gonna talk about it, kissing his best friend. You know, they used to kiss on the cheek before the game. Now, I'm looking around like, yeah, what's happening, right? I didn't bring up video for that. I didn't want to go there, but I'm gonna go there, right? Again, this is 1980 something, 88, 9, 6, somewhere in there, somewhere in the late 80s, right? You on national TV in the playoffs, in the finals, the NBA finals, kissing your homeboy. I'm just be completely honest. That was not a thing. You know, where I came from, that was not a thing. Wasn't no two men kissing on no type of way, shape, form, or fashion in that time. Right? So to get this dude who's been kissing men for 40 years, give or take, to try to speak to men about their duties and speak about manhood is absolutely ridiculous. But let us proceed with the article. U.S. businessman and former basketball player Magic Johnson speaks at a campaign event for Kamala Harris. While Harris is campaigning Saturday in North Carolina, Trump is making his return to Butler, Pennsylvania, the site of the July 13th assassination attempt on his life. I guess that is the article. All right, so that's the article. And we're going to just watch, because the clip is short. We're going to watch the clip so y'all know that I'm not making up stuff and accusing him of saying things that he didn't say. And where you at, Magic? Here we go.
Now, there's a lot of black men in here, and I don't mean to, not talk to other people, but this is important. Our black men, we got to get them out to vote. That's number one. Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things last time to the black community that he did not deliver on. And we got to make sure we help black men understand that. So that's why I'm here, to make sure I help black men understand. First, get out and vote, and then vote for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
All right, y'all got that. The clip, short, to the point. And y'all got to hear it and get the spirit of it. Now, peace and power to brother plant-based, brother pro-black and plant-based. I always mess your name up, brother. Now, brother, you got ripped off, man. I played that clip so many times, but I'm just gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna, because I didn't load the clip. I forgot. But yeah, Miss Harris, she promised something too, and she delivered. She promised she wasn't gonna do anything specifically for black people, and that's what happened, right? That's what happened. And y'all, I played that clip ad nauseum. I put it on YouTube in a short. You can go through my YouTube shorts and find it. Put it in Instagram. I'll probably load it up one more time. But tonight I'm not going to show that. So I'm not done with Magic, because we're not playing no games with these people tonight. Listen, that's Magic Johnson. That is not his new girlfriend. That is not his sister. That is not his wife, nor his ex-wife. That's his son. Yeah, that's his son. All about Magic Johnson's son in reality star, E.J. Johnson. So this man, right, who has his son walking around as a full-on woman, wants to tell black men what they need to do to be men. Man, where's the I beg your pardon button? Can a man who raised his son to be this tell us anything about manhood whatsoever? I'm asking a question. Should we be listening to a man who raised his son to be this? Should we be listening to him about manhood in any way, shape, or form? Can he tell us anything other than what not to do? And what's deep is, and I didn't even look for the quote. Whoa, this is what was wild. Magic Johnson's wife Cookie said, yeah, he's just like a chip off the old block. Excuse me? I don't know if you've ever heard that. You can look it up on YouTube. She said that EJ is like a chip off the old block. The old block is Irving. In fact, I guess EJ is Irving Jr. So Irving, aka Magic, the son who wears women's clothes, is a chip off the old block. I beg your pardon? Yeah, she hasn't said that since, but she let the cat out the bag. So to send this guy out here to talk about what black men need to do is absolutely ridiculous. Be before they to raw Ito White House. So that's my brother like to say, that's tragic Johnson right there. Says if unnecessary, stand up there looking like Simone Sanders twin. I don't even know who Simone Sanders is. The name sounds familiar, but I don't really know who that is. But all right, enough of that. Let's move forward. I don't even want that on the thing no more. Let's get that up. Can we delete that? All right, good. I just ain't want to delete the whole thing. Here we go. Then next, after that, after tragic, came Barack Hussein Obama. Right? Oh yeah. Okay, thank you, bro. Oh, actually, no, thank you. Yeah, we were just talking about that person too. Barack Hussein Obama, former president Barack Hussein Obama, right? He comes out and he lectures men on the campaign trail. I believe he was in, I'm not 100% sure. I believe he was in Pennsylvania. Greetings to Brother Jimmy. And he comes out and lectures us and says that, well, we'll see what he said. I got the video. And, man, I listen. These people, man, let us go back into the Wayback Machine, right? Go back to the Wayback Machine and think about Barack Obama when he sat up there and faked a tear and said, Trayvon could have been my son. He's president of the United States. This man can have his Justice Department put up civil rights charges on the man who took away our son Trayvon. He could have him declared as a terrorist and have him removed from the planet. Greetings to Bola Kaija 1. He could have, as the president of the United States, he could have had a secret task force simply remove the man who took away Trayvon Martin from us, from the planet secretly, and had him buried at sea. Right? Like, think about it. He's the president of you're the commander in chief. You're the president of the United States. You had a man and his son assassinated. And the man and his son were both United States citizens. His son was like 17 years old. You had that man's son assassinated because you said the man was a terrorist. You didn't say the son was a terrorist, right? So everybody forgets that part. So we know that the president of the United States can, with impunity, have people removed from the planet if need be. But you didn't do anything to deal with the man who took away Trayvon Martin. You didn't send the Navy. the Army, the Air Force, nor the Marines. Not SEAL Team 6, Delta Force, or any of these other special units. You didn't do anything. You didn't have your Justice Department do anything. The FBI, the CIA. Nobody. You saw that trial take place, and you saw that man get away with murder. And you, the President of the United States, did nothing. Be before the to Sister Tia. You didn't even have, my brother say he didn't even have a candlelight vigil. You didn't even have the flags at half staff at the White House. You did nothing when Mike Brown was gunned down. And the myriad of other assassinations of black men that took place on Barack Hussein Obama's watch when he did nothing. He could have sent the National Guard to take care of the police. Say, we're going to deal with this problem. There's obviously terrorists in the police department and we're going to root them out. Did he say that? No, of course not. But you know what he did do? Hold up. Before I get back to this. What did he do? Let me find it. Obama signs blue alert law to protect police. May 19th, 2015. Y'all know what May 19th is? That's Malcolm X's birthday. Think about that. Signs the Rafael Ramos and Wei Jin Liu National Blue Alert Bill, named after a Hispanic and an Asian. At the same time, where police terrorists are removing black men from the planet at a record rate, he signs a bill to protect the terrorists in the police department. Now, we don't forget. Nor do we forgive. I don't forget. I don't forgive. I can't speak for these other people. So for this man to come up here and try to tell us as black men what we need to do when you had 8 whole years and you did nothing. Let us not forget that when he came into office, when the economy had been crashed by the bankers, right? He had a choice. Let's not forget this part. He had a choice. Do I bail out the homeowners or do I bail out the bankers? He chose the bankers and left the homeowners in the lurch, and millions of people lost their home, lost their livelihood, lost everything. That's when he first walked in the door. We should have known something was wrong right there. So we're going to deal with documented facts today. We're not going to just make up and slander the man for no reason. We're going to bring the facts. And if you have been watching me for a long time, you know I got some more facts that I decided not to totally go into tonight, because I've already been there and put it on the table multiple times. but I almost Brother Crow had a super chat and I almost missed it. My apologies, Brother Crow. Says Tragic Johnson is a complete disgrace to the black race. Hey, there's nothing to add there. So let me get back to the original article, because I'm supposed to be being brief tonight. Obama in blunt terms tells black men to get over their reluctance to support Harris. Let us read. Former President Barack Hussein Obama on Thursday had a blunt message to black men: get behind VP Harris and get out to vote. Obama made a surprise stop at a Pittsburgh campaign field office ahead of a rally in the city, where his party has been working hard to make gains in a race where polls show a razor-thin race between Harris and former President Donald J. Trump. Recent polls show Trump has made inroads with black male voters. Obama, the first mixed president, said he wanted to speak some truths. That would be the first. Anyway, my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. That's because we're smarter now. That lack of enthusiasm for Harris, he said, seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. I repeat, that's because we're smarter now. He chided voters who were voting for Trump or not casting a vote for at all. Now, hold up. Wait a minute. Hold on. Not that I advocate for these people, but why do they act like some people aren't voting for Jill Stein and some people aren't voting for y'all help me out with Cornel West, because some people are voting for Jill Stein, some people are voting for Cornel West. Sister Ray says people forgave him because he sang Amazing Grace and wore a tan suit. It would be, the bad part is, if you were joking, that would be funny, but you're serious and probably right, and that's what's terrible. Oh my, yeah, Cornel West. So some people are voting for those people, and again, because I've covered this, as y'all know, I've covered the election quite extensively, and I showed Jill Stein because many people didn't know who she was, and it's interesting because now I see her popping up everywhere. And her running mate. Y'all help me out with his name. I know it's Bruce something, and he's actually from DC, but he don't look like he's from DC. But anyway, so yeah, there are other people who are running. So this idea that people are just, oh my God, people are voting for Trump. And I know I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. This idea that Trump's the only racist white person in America or in politics, because let us not forget. I know this went way under the boards. The mentor, and I'm using that word on purpose, of Joe Biden and in the Senate Hillary Clinton was a whole Klansman. Mr. Senator Byrd from West Virginia he's a Democrat, a lifelong Democrat, was a whole Klansman in the 40s and 50s. Think about it. That's Mr. Biden's mentor, and Mr. Biden was put in place to oversee Mr. Obama's work. Yeah, y'all can look it up. I'm not making up stuff. But he want to tell us what black men should do. You got the whole mentee of a Klansman, and that's who you pick as your running mate. I can't make this stuff up because that's how ridiculous it is. but you want to tell the black man what he should be doing. Let us get back to the article. And you are thinking about sitting out? Part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president, and you're coming up with these other alternatives and other reasons for that. Let's stop right here. We're going to stop right here. Look, man. This is a dude, Barack Obama, who decided to be black. He was running around dating European females and dreaming about interactions with men. So he decided to put on the mask of being a black heterosexual male. Now somebody go like, hey, what do you mean, DC? What in the world are you talking about, man? Barack Obama is a married man, and he's masculine, and he's a straight man. What are you talking about? Let us go to the record. We ain't gonna go full on into this, as they just pull up random chocolate sister for whatever commercial that is. Barack Obama told X that he makes love to men daily, but in his imagination, letter shows. Y'all remember this, right? People try to argue me down and say that I'm making up stuff. Former President Barack Hussein Obama wrote of his own androgynous mind and making love to men daily, but in the imagination, according to the redacted portion of a now notorious 1982 letter obtained by the Post. The more than 40-year-old letter to an ex-girlfriend recently resurfaced after Obama biographer David Garrow gave a long and winding interview with one-time commander-in-chief. Quote unquote, in regards to homosexuality, I must say that I believe this is an attempt to remove oneself from the present, a refusal perhaps to perpetuate the endless farce of earthly life. You see, I, quote unquote, make love to men daily, but in the imagination, Obama, then 21, wrote to Alex McNear in November 1982. Let's stop right here. I'm gonna be completely honest. I've been around for a long time. I've been straight my whole life. Most of the people I grew up with were straight. Most of my friends were straight. In fact, all of my friends were straight. What am I talking about? Let me correct myself immediately. Most of my family is straight. There's no way in the world that you straight and you continuously make love to men in your mind. When you're a straight man, if you're imagining some nocturnal activities, you're imagining them with a young lady, or maybe even a older, sophisticated woman, right? Some of y'all, if you really out there, you might be imagining 2 or more women. But I guarantee you what you ain't doing. You're not imagining yourself interacting with other men and claiming to be straight. Right? Now, if you think that he's only been sitting around fantasizing about this for his whole, now he's in college allegedly with a girlfriend. If you think that's the only thing that took place, good luck. Because we got other video documentation that, that says that there was more than thinking in his mind going on here. But we're gonna get back to the article. Then we're gonna go back to the other article. Good old Barry right there. When he was in his prime. Let's see. It says, my mind is androgynous to a great extent, and I hope to make it more so until I can think in terms of people, not women, as opposed to men. This is Mr. Obama. But in returning to the body, I see that I have been made a man, and physically in life, I choose to accept that contingency. Let's stop right here. That if that doesn't sound like somebody that's been out here doing whatever with men, and now they're like, all right, it's time for me to actually be a man. I've had my fun. That's what it sounds like to me. Y'all tell me what it sounds like. But does anybody think that this sounds like an actual straight man who has never done, for lack of a better word, P. Diddy, Clive Davis type activities? Like, this almost sounds exactly like what Clive Davis was talking about when we showed that clip. Now that I think about it, McNair, who dated Obama during his year at Occidental College in Los Angeles, later redacted the salacious paragraphs which Pulitzer Prize-winning historian Garrow hunted down and included in his tome Rising Star. The letter is currently owned by Emory University, which doesn't permit it to be photographed or removed, which means this is definitely in the letter. If you can't photograph it, and you, right? Now, Keir provided the redacted portion of the letter to the Post. Obama, a father of two, had been married to his wife Michelle since 1992. Garrow said there was nothing unusual about Obama's youthful musings. I'm a historian, not a psychologist, but I think it's public record news that a vast majority of people have fantasies. No one's debating that part. It's the whole. Anyway. So somebody's gonna say, all right, DC, what's the point of that? The point is this man qualified to teach us or our children about what we should do as men? Now, let me see. Let's go back to what he was saying. He says that Obama said women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. When we get in trouble and the system isn't working for us, they're the ones out there marching and protesting. Let's stop right here. Hold on. While that is true, the reality of the situation is that many women in modern times were marching and protesting for their own agendas, as we see with Black Lives Matter, which is an operation of our enemies. So he's really trying to pull at what Dr. Khaled used to say, trying to pull that small time jive stuff on me. Like it, man, these people insult our intelligence so much, and it just really, there's a lot of things I hate, but man, insulting my intelligence is the thing I hate. It really, let's finish this, because we almost finished this article. Let's finish this. Addressing voters who are on the fence, he said the decision between Trump and Harris should be clear. Adding it, on the one hand, you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pains and joy that come from your experience. That's a lie. She did not grow up like me. She grew up in Canada somewhere. Like, they never even talk about what happened up there. Right? She did not grow up like me. I didn't have no Indian mother. Nobody sitting around making curry chicken every week. She don't know nothing about being a black man. The only black man she was with was was Mr. Willie Brown, who put her on, started her career. right? All right, let me regain my composure. All right, I'm finished with that article. I don't even want to see this dude's words. This is what we're gonna do. We are gonna listen to him because I don't want y'all to accuse me of making up stories. So y'all know how we do. We pause the music and we play the clip. And the clip is short, so y'all be right.
Because that's what being a man is? Putting women down? That's not acceptable.
Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. My bad. I think, at least I thought the clip was longer than that. Let me let's try this again. I made a mistake. Let's try this again.
About sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is? Putting women down? That's not acceptable.
All right, I'm bad for the tech error. He said this. They're trying to do the toxic masculinity thing. He said that y'all think that that's a sign of strength, putting women down. Listen, man. This dude is such a weak-kneed, cowardly, disgusting, double-dealing, two-timing fraud that just listen to him talk. Right? This idea that you can't simply vote for some other person. It doesn't even have to be like I said. People talking about voting for Jill Stein and Cornel West, all types of, and some people think about they just like none of these people. And many brothers are saying none of these people represent their interests, which I concur with that assessment for different reasons. For him to sit up here and act as if the only reason black men aren't voting for Kamala, who's not black, or she is Indian and she's descended from Jewish slavers. That's what it is. Right? Of all people, Miss Broken Clock, Candace Owens. I don't know why I call her Miss Broken Clock, because she's right once a day. She dug it up. I didn't dig it up. Somebody sent her the information. One of her ancestors is in the Jewish registry of, or the registry of Jewish Jamaicans, or something. The book has some type of title like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. Yeah, y'all can go with. I don't remember which episode of Candace Owens thing it was, but she brought that up. Which explains why she's married, why she had a Jewish husband. So this idea that this person is like us, no. To quote Kendrick Lamar, they not like us. Barack Hussein Obama's not like us. He didn't know his Kenyan father. His father was not in his life. He did not grow up in Kenya. His Kenyan brother talks about him all the time. in very unflattering terms for whatever reason. I don't know why, right? So he didn't grow up like us. Kamala didn't grow up like us. Just because she went to a HBCU, I went to a HBCU. We had a couple of blonde-haired chicks running around at that school. Can they relate? You know what I'm saying? Can that chick, just because that chick went to school at the time that I was at the school, can she relate to us now? Should I go and vote for her for whatever her position was? Right? Like, let's be serious here. I mean, this stuff is so ridiculous, man, that it just is such an insult to our intelligence. I know Candace is married to a white woman. That doesn't make the documentation false. She proved it with documentation. People sent her the information who were probably related to Kamala and just didn't want to say it. See, that the reason why Kamala's lineage is so weird and no people could never figure out what was going on is the simple fact that she is a hat. And if you don't know the significance of that, you're about to find out the hard way. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. I'm gonna just say it. The chances of Black people surviving the next 25 years are already less than 50%. Let me tell you that. You know, if this woman gets in the office and serves 2 terms, those chances are down to 5%. Plain and simple. The slaughter of Black people that's going to occur, especially men, it's going to be something out of a horror movie. Yeah, I haven't been wanting to say it publicly, but you might as well put it all on the table now. You think Trump is bad, and he is bad. That's what's crazy. She's worse because you'll never see it coming. Because you love this demon. Because if you had any sense, you would have never accepted integration 50 years ago. And we wouldn't be in this mess, choosing between Satan and Beelzebub. But here we are. Malcolm X tried to tell us 60 years ago. Mr. Garvey tried to tell us 100 years ago. But since we didn't listen, here we are. Because we don't have time machines, so we can't go back and change the history. So now's the choice. And here's the bad part. On the things that actually matter, it doesn't actually matter. You know why? Because both candidates are completely owned by the synagogue of Satan. Yeah, I said it. Both candidates. One, first of all, is married to the synagogue of Satan. The other one, half his family is married to the synagogue of Satan. So he can't drown the swamp. He can't, what do you say? I'm a drain the swamp. You can't drain the swamp because you're surrounded by the swamp. And the other one is the representation of the swamp. She got endorsed by Dick Cheney, who's a complete psychopath. Who helped engineer the murder of millions of people and stealing trillions of dollars from the American people, thanks to the Iraq War. Now, this woman, who is the border czar, has opened up the border to allow every type of psychopath, degenerate, and even some good and decent people to come across the border. And some of them they lied to get them here. And then give them all the resources that they need while our people are stuck. We not even on the bottom of the boat. We chained to the outside of the bottom of the boat while the ship is sinking. And you think this broad has solutions for black people? Let me regain my composure. Get to the next article. All right, this is a quick one. This sister's been doing a lot of interviews and stuff lately. This is Nina Turner, former Democratic state senator, and I believe she's a Bernie Sanders advocate. Just real quick. Former Democratic senator says party emasculates black men. Black men are moving away from the Democratic Party and into the arms of Donald Trump because the party, quote unquote, emasculates them, according to former party senator Nina Turner. The Democratic Party emasculates black men, she said, quote unquote. And I guess you can watch the whole show on X, but I'm not going to play that because I don't know if it plays. Says the Democratic Party elevation of black women as mothers of the movement is problematic and alienates certain groups, namely black men. Turner, who served as an Ohio senator for 6 years until 2014, told the Free Press the party also fails to use identity to advance social justice causes. Trump, by contrast, she says, embodies a certain quote unquote bravado, a masculine energy, which is still very much rooted in a hierarchical patriarchy. Black men have indeed shifted to the right, with younger black voters expressing much warmer feelings toward the former president than their older counterparts. At least Harris has the young female vote sewn up. And I guess that is that. So that's what Nina Turner says. Now, she said that actually before all of this stuff happened, right? Like when I heard her say it, I was like, this is what it was. I was wondering, I was like, okay, what sparked that? Who irritated her, or what made her wake up and say, like what behind the scenes discussions? Because she was a party insider for a while, and because I remember she used to be on MSNBC all the time and all this, and then now she's talking like this. This is another article written by her October 11th. Obama's blaming black men for the Democratic Party's failures. Opinion piece in Newsweek of all places from Nina Turner. Let's read what she has to say. We can avoid like some of the ridiculous number of. Can I close this without closing up everything? It says in both 2008 and 2012, I was proud to be an Ohio delegate for President Barack Obama. So I was shocked to hear what former President Obama had to say while speaking to black men during a surprise visit to Kamala Harris's campaign field office in Pittsburgh. That kind of went too fast. His words made my jaw hit the floor. In fact, they made my blood boil. President Obama had some choice words for the enthusiasm gap for Vice President Harris, specifically when it comes to black men. My understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of, oh yeah, we heard that, same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters and neighborhoods and communities we saw when I was running. That's what Obama said. He went on to lecture black men about their lack of support for Harris. And we heard the rest of his remarks. Anyway, she says, I was infuriated to hear these remarks. No other group of voters is talked to like this, as if they are children. See, I'm not the only one. But it's not just the paternalistic tone that had me enraged. It's the underlying message in his words that black men are misogynistic and can't bring themselves to vote for a woman. Now hold up, let's stop right here. Wait a minute. I just thought about something. Wait a minute. Hold on. So he's saying that, but we know that a significant portion of black people, and which means a significant portion of black men, voted for Hillary Clinton of all people. So if you know this, and we know you know this because you're the former president and you're a Democratic Party insider, how in the world can you sit around and come out here and say the type of madness that you're saying unless you're being completely disingenuous, and you're setting up the fact that you know she will probably lose, and then thus we will be blamed, which I'm fine with that personally, but it's just the disingenuousness of it, right? And brother, you got ripped off. Remind me to stop at 9:30 so I can make the announcement that I made at the beginning of the show and then get toward closing out. Thank you, brother. So Sister Nina Turner's made some salient points, so we're going to get back to reading this article. Says the vilification of our men is out of line. For starters, it's false. Black men are socialized in the same quote-unquote patriarchal society that every American man is socialized in. Yet when Hillary Clinton ran for president in 2016, 81%, see, she got the documentation, of black men voted for her, while only 32% of white men did the same. I mean, I could say that we were out of line. For 81% of black men to vote for Hillary Clinton, that's crazy. What? Let me proceed with the article. As for black men being so reticent to vote for Vice President Harris, her lowest numbers are with black men under 50 years old. 72% of whom support Harris. So, anyway, that's way too many. If white men supported Harris at 72%, they'd be held up as an example of how men can support women. So why did Democratic Party leaders like President Obama vilify black men? It's simple. The Democratic Party is setting up black men to take the fall in the likelihood, she says in case, but I'm saying in the likelihood that Harris fails to defeat former President Trump in November. It's that simple. It is an outrage that they are bringing to pin this on black men. That they are trying to pin this on black men. If Harris loses, it will not be on black men or any other group of voters. The fault lays squarely with the candidate and the party that she represents. It is her job to appeal to black men. I mean, she gave a class here. I've spoken to some of them personally. In recent years, after my time as an Ohio State Senator and the chair of engagement for the Ohio Democratic Party, I've traveled our country talking to voters, especially black working class people. I spent the past year in rooms with black labor leaders and rank and file members, with black-led organizations organizing for reparations and black elected officials. Just this week, my organization, We Are Somebody Fund, announced a significant investment in black voter outreach. I've talked at length with black men who vote. My dad is a black man who votes. My son is a black man who votes. My brother is a black man who votes. Most of the black men in my life vote. The black men I speak to who are not enthusiastic about Vice President Harris are not enthusiastic with the Democratic Party as a whole. I don't know why people find this shocking. They feel left behind and ignored. Black men are concerned with the economy and jobs. Wasn't it Bill Clinton's former, I don't remember what his actual job was, but didn't he say it's the economy, stupid? Like that's it. That's a line that he made famous. And how people haven't figured that out yet is beyond me. Right? Anyway, the criminal justice system and wages, issues that do not see the Democratic Party addressing aggressively enough. They shouldn't be blamed for the Democratic Party's failures. They should be granted the dignity of voting on their interests as they perceive them, like everyone else. And if the Democratic Party is failing to galvanize their support, maybe the party should ask what it's doing wrong rather than blaming black men. So I will stop right there. Because she's quoting Malcolm X, but the part of Malcolm X that she's not going to quote is Malcolm X calling us political chumps for voting for the Democratic Party in 1960. But I think he was speaking about it in 64. B40 and Sister Najee, who's early for the next show, but extremely late for this one. Always glad to see you. So that's Sister Nina Turner. I think I'm gonna leave that right there. Because being completely honest, if Minister Malcolm X was here, none of these other people would even exist. Right? Like she says that Minister Malcolm X was here today, and I'm like, if Minister Malcolm X had survived the 60s, well, black people would be a different people and the world would be a different place. So I don't even, we can't even bring that up. Right? Sister Ray Bay said another excuse for these feminists to act up. Oh my. Woo. Boy, that's a whole lecture. That's a whole lecture. But I will, look, I give credit where it's due. I give, and I'm sure that politically we do not align. Although I could be wrong because I never met the sister, probably never will have a chance to meet her. But I will give props to Sister Nina Turner for saying what apparently no man in the Democratic Party has the testicular fortitude to state, when she stated that the Democratic Party emasculates black men and are going to scapegoat us for what is looking more and more like an election loss for Miss Harris. Because I'm going to be completely honest. The more she talks, the more people are starting to question her capabilities. I personally have trouble listening to her because it has become grating to my ears, because her vapid responses to questions, be they intelligent questions or softball questions, has gotten nauseating at this point. And at first I thought it was just myself, but then I'm like, let me see, go in comment sections, where she speaks and people are like, I saw somebody say, does she ever actually answer a question that's asked? And I was like, see, now that people see her speak, they are like, I get it. There's nothing here. Back in the day, they had a term, white people had a term called empty suit. Like, she's an empty suit or empty pantsuit. Like, there's nothing there. There's no substance. I even heard a person that's very liberal basically say that they don't think that she believes in anything, that she has any policy, that she has anything of substance to her as far as what she actually believes in. And I always look at it like this. I can tell what you believe in by what you vehemently oppose. And the thing about being liberal is that means you're kind of down with everything. Right? That's literally what the term means. That's why liberalism, Western liberalism, is very dangerous, because it's very much in line with "do what thou will," which happens to be the saying of Satanists, believe it or not. Thank you, brother. So, again, as I stated previously, this week only, this week only, I am currently editing the JATP Save America rally video that brother Jeannie did. I'm currently editing it. This would normally be a $25, $30 video. This week only, it's $20, payable via Cashapp. You pay the $20, you send me your email, I send it to you. When I'm finished editing it, I have edited it, and I have some more stuff to add. It's over 2-hour presentation, a historic address, and no one else has the video except myself, because no one else was filming it except myself. So it is historic. In addition to that, I'm also working on the September Chopping It Up in Baltimore. That one will also be $20, but this week only. Also, I forgot. We have memberships for the channel. I forgot. Starting at, I think, $3.99. If I remember, you should be able to go to the channel page and see that. It has different levels and got different things that come with being a member of the channel. That's something that you pay monthly, and eventually Google sends that money to me. Right? We also got super thanks that you can do. Like if there's a video instead of a live stream and you see something you like, and you're like, hey man, thanks for posting this. Here's $2. Right? Because as I said earlier, and brother, you got ripped off. Hold me. Count down 5 minutes from now so I can get this out the way. Making it to being monetized, because our original saying was get monetized or get deleted. Trying making it to getting monetized was cool, but seeing how monetization is going and seeing how broad our viewership hasn't been on the stuff that we've released lately, and how much content I would have to put out, it is not sustainable for me time-wise and money-wise to put out that type of content to attempt to achieve the goal, which my goal has always been to get the channel to pay for itself. Right? So that's why we're offering these videos at a discounted price right now, because we did not last month pass the YouTube threshold of receiving payment based upon viewership and other things, which is understandable because it was only a week before before the cutoff time. We got monetized like a week, 10 days, something like that. But one thing they are doing, and this will probably fall into that category, everything that I do live stream wise, not everything, but most of the things that I've done live stream wise have not been fully monetized. They've been partially monetized for whatever reason, and I actually don't know the reason, but whatever reason. And many of the videos have not been monetized. So that is that. So I'm just letting you all know that. What'd you say, bro? Desaline? Bring it to the people. gotta debate these fools. Debate whom? Like, if you got suggestions, let me know. And I'm just gonna say this to what you're saying. So I'm waiting for you to say whoever. Most people, if y'all know me, y'all know that most people I simply cannot stand. Like, most of these people that the people like, I have a severe disdain for. You know what I'm saying? Like, severe, and being, when you're a small channel, if there was a person, like, let's say there was some person that they just disagree with the platform or whatever, it would be a bigger risk for them to take a small channel or some person they don't know and attempt to debate them, when it's easier to just ignore them and not want to give clout to the other person. So which I understand. That makes perfect sense. I understand that. It's almost like boxing. You'll see many times championship boxers will see someone up and coming, and they're like, yeah, I'm in my prime, or maybe I'm past my prime a little bit, and I see this dude up and coming. No need for me to risk that. But I can make money fighting this other guy. So it's kind of a similar it's a similar phenomenon. So, but yeah, I accept all ideas, because I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes y'all may hear me, like, y'all may make suggestions on different things, and it may sound like I have dismissed them out of hand, but you can ask, brother, you got ripped off. I'll still be debating those things or contemplating those suggestions. And sometimes things that people suggest get implemented in one form or another. So yeah, so that's that. So that's all on the table. That's what's going on. And I got to look at the date, but I know Brother Genie has as part of his tour, he has another event, another date coming up in November. So when I remember that, I will put that in the community tab and also on my Instagram. So be aware of that, because as you all know, he just went to Springfield, Illinois this past week. And I wish I could remember when he got another show coming up, big time show coming up on Twitter, either Wednesday night or Thursday night. I can't remember. All right. So those are the announcements. We got 22 minutes left or less. Let's see what we was at Sister Nina Turner. All right. So okay. All right. So let's go back to this. So Sister Nina Turner was saying that Malcolm X, she used a Malcolm X quote about the most disrespected person in America was the black woman at the time. And she says he was correct, and sadly, this still rings true today. But I think if Mr. Malcolm X was alive today, he might see things a bit more expansively. These days, it feels like the most vilified person in America is a black man. Oh yeah, no, Malcolm would agree with that. Just because the black woman is the most disrespected doesn't mean that he wouldn't have said that the black man is the most vilified. But without question, the black man is the most vilified today. But I'll say this. The reality of the situation is, for the black man and the black woman, we have allowed people to represent us who don't have our interests at heart. And they have betrayed some absolutely filthy, vile, and disgusting behavior. Right? Yeah, brother. Both things can be true at the same time. And we don't talk about that enough. Like, we have allowed the sexy reds to come along and just, I mean, at least sisters finally just said enough's enough, right? They just like, well, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. So I give sisters that. But the number of just degenerates that represent black people now, if you really think about it, like, what upstanding, intelligent, articulate person of decent moral character do we have that is put before our children as a representation of blackness? And I'm asking like that the majority of our people would know, because most of our people only know athletes and entertainers. And you know, as it's now coming out in the wash with the whole Diddy thing, we see, you know, those who know already knew, but now everybody knows what that entails. Like, we knew about it from the Hollywood perspective, but now we see about it from the music industry perspective, what that entails. Like, unless your favorite entertainer has publicly stated, I don't rock like that, then they rock like that. Or if they were like vilified and never really allowed in the club, because there have been some people like that people didn't like, so they wasn't allowed to get into the shenanigans. Otherwise, yes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it's easy for us to sit around and talk about the different women. Some of them ain't even black. That's the thing. Cardi B, she not even black. She representing black women, make black women look bad. She not even black. But we can talk about the female rappers because they're bigger now. But I mean, look at a lot of these quote unquote men, right? I mean, to be honest, if you look at it at this point in the media, I feel like most of the men broke back mountain. Will Smith just out here looking crazy. Brother Destiny, they funny about that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no question. I mean, we just go on ad nauseum. There's no need to even go there. You know? I mean, the whole Sean Combs thing, they gonna make him look, if it's even possible, even worse than what he is, which I don't that's the part that's crazy. Like, as much as a savage, degenerate, barbarian, low-life scum that he is, the idea that he was doing all this alone by himself when it went on for decades is just absolutely ridiculous. And how Clive Davis isn't tied up in this when he was his mentor, and I use that word in the term that is supposed to be used, speaks for itself. But I digress. Let us get back to where we were so we can close out. Now, that was Sister Nina Turner. We appreciate her words, and you can find that this is a Newsweek article. Now, what in the world is going on to make Miss Harris make these moves? Says Harris announced a new plan to empower black men as she tries to energize them to vote for her. So I think we can come to the conclusion now that they've received a message that there is a chance that if she doesn't get out, everybody in these states, that, you know, it's over. Brother Crow says LeBron is LeBron's Yeah, LeBron is. And I'm not gonna lie, there was a time when I at least had some respect for LeBron, but then I thought about it. I'm like, his homeboy is Dwayne Wade. That's his ace. That's his homie. That's his number one man. And I showed y'all his handlers, who happen to be Ashkenazis. Yeah, I mean, those are his people. He was all at the bar mitzvah and said that Rabbi something or other was his I forgot the word he used. His advisor. That's what LeBron said. I ain't what I said. I covered that in a show previously. So I mean, make of that what you will. Right? All right. Vice President Kamala Harris. Am I mispronouncing her name, by the way? Is it Kamala? Have I just been butchering her name all the time? Either way. Announced a plan on Monday to give Black men more economic opportunities and other chances to thrive as she works to energize a key voting bloc as Democrats concerned about a lack of enthusiasm. Harris's plan includes providing forgivable business loans for Black entrepreneurs, creating more apprenticeships, and studying sickle cell and other diseases that disproportionately affect Black men. Harris also has said she supports legalizing marijuana and calls for national plans for working to ensure that Black men have opportunities to participate as a national cannabis industry takes place. She also is calling for better regulating cryptocurrency to protect Black men and others who invest in digital assets. The vice president's opportunity agenda for Black men is meant to invigorate African American males at a moment when there are fears some will sit out the election rather than vote for Harris or her opponent, Republican Donald Trump. The vice president unveiled the plan as she visited Erie, Pennsylvania, where she stopped by Legend Erie Records and Coffee House, a Black-owned small business, for a conversation with Black men from the area. She must be struggling in Pennsylvania bad. It's because this outreach wasn't a thing a month ago, and now all of a sudden it's like a full-on blitz. The business opened 5 weeks ago. Wonder what's the motivation of going to a brand new business that just opened. Because I'm sure there's a pick for a reason. Anyway, just 5 weeks ago, it's the project of Ishmael and Elena Trainer, a married couple of Erie natives who returned to their hometown after living for years in Arizona. Why would Black people live in Arizona? Anyway. Later, Harris held a campaign rally in the Northwest Pennsylvania city, where she pilloried Trump for suggesting in a weekend Fox News interview that the U.S. military may need to be deployed to quell an enemy from within if the election day is disturbed by agitators. Well, now let's think about that now. I haven't heard him say that, but let's think about that. They had it's like 30 million, maybe more, illegal in America. And you talk about using the National Guard to control that situation? That makes perfect logical sense to me. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I need to hear the quote. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm missing. I don't know. But to me, considering there's a whole invasion at the southern border, and instead of sending money and weapons to Ukraine and billions of dollars to Israel, because Israel claimed they big and bad, so they should be able to handle those small countries by themselves, why not actually send the military to the southern border to deal with that problem? I mean, am I tripping? Like, to me, this makes logical sense. To actually use your military to defend your homeland. I mean, I know it seems like a novel idea in 2024, but makes sense to me. Brother KW Don says specific benefits targeting black men will not work because Ed Bloom will challenge it via the Supreme Court. Well, here's the thing: Ed Bloom is he's from the same tribe as Kamala and her husband, so they could talk to him personally. You see, the people don't understand that part. Ed Bloom is not what y'all think he is. Ed Bloom's a hat. Ed Bloom's not no white nationalist. That's what they want y'all to think. The Khazar. I'm just saying. Right? Little known fact. Anyway, her push comes after Barack Obama said what he said. The Harris campaign also has been working to increase support among other male voting blocs, including Hispanics, by founding the group Hombres con Harris, Spanish for men with Harris. The latest policy rollout is notable because it comes with a stated purpose of motivating black men. That's interesting that they said that. It comes with the stated purpose of motivating black men. So think about it. The purpose is to motivate black men, not to benefit black men. Think about that. Like they told the story right there. Yeah. As her campaign has done with Hombres group, Harris' team plans to organize gender-specific gatherings. Those include Black Men Huddle Up events in battleground states featuring African-American male celebrities for things like watch parties for NFL and NCAA football games. Bruh. Listen. Let me say this. I enjoy football, viewing football as much as the next guy. Right? But the way to get my attention on political matters is not to sit around and chop it up and watch the game with people who ain't my homeboys, pretending to be my homeboys. Like, it's so condescending and disrespectful. If you have real serious policy that you plan to target to black men, get in a room, break out your PowerPoint, go through the policy point by point, and explain how it will help black men. And then also, before you even do that, play your quote that you're not going to do anything specifically for black people and explain when you decided to change your mind and start doing something specifically for black people. Because all the rest of this is just pandering and as white people would say, tomfoolery, shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just they show us in so many ways how much they don't respect us. It's insane. Like the idea that, hey, come meet some local football player and chop it up with him and then go vote for me is, bruh. Thinking about it is making my head hurt. And don't even get me started on a marijuana thing, because one of these days I'm going to do Taboo Topics Part 2 and marijuana is going to be at the top of the thing. This is so, oh my goodness. I would love to see the person that was made the point man on this. But Brother Neil, thank you. I was about to leave if I was showing the last video. So we're gonna I'm going to basically close out with this Kamala video. We're going to play, I believe it's like 3 minutes long. I just want y'all to tell me what y'all think. Right? And then we're going to close out because I'm running late. So, y'all know how we do.
A friend. His name is Barack Hussein Obama. You know him?
I do know him. I do.
He recently in Pittsburgh.
President.
President,
Barack.
let's get it right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Obama.
President. President Barack Obama. He was campaigning for you in Pittsburgh before some students at the University of Pittsburgh, which is my alma mater. And he said some things that really ruffled some feathers in the news. He said, "It makes me think you aren't just feeling the idea of having a woman as a president. You're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. We have not seen the same kind of energy and turnout in all corners of our neighborhoods and community as we saw when I was running." So when you hear those words, I'm sure you were briefed on the situation. A former Ohio State Senator, Nina Turner, she came out on CNN and said, "Why are you putting black men up against the wall and pressuring them into something that possibly, they don't want to do if they want to vote for you or not?" So my question to you is, do you think that what President Obama said was the right thing to say?
Let me tell you, I am very proud to have the support of President Obama and that he is out traveling to talk with voters about what is at stake in this election. I'm very proud to have his support. What is also important is, one, to understand, like as I said, I intend to earn the vote of everyone, including black men. Two, pay attention to everything that President Obama talked about, because he also talked about at length the danger of Donald Trump. The danger of Donald Trump in terms of somebody who has said that they would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies, somebody who has referred to black immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, legal immigrants, as though they would eat their pets, constantly perpetuating tropes. Remember, Donald Trump, who said in Charlottesville, there are good people on each side. So I think it's really important to focus on the stakes of this election, and there are two choices. And I ask everyone to look at the background, look at the work, look at the words, to have a sense of how you then choose to use the power of your vote on Election Day. But there is a very big difference between Donald Trump and how I will be president of the United States.
All right. Now, we're just going to end up going over a few minutes. It is what it is. And brother that sent me the 20, make sure you send me an email to my DC Radical _1 at Proton Mail account so I can get that to you as soon as I'm done. And I haven't even made the announcement that you can follow me on Instagram at dc.radical1, on Threads also at dc.radical1, on Twitter at dcradical_ONE, and on OTW2, which is a free speech black woman owned platform. Thank you, brother. At DC Radical 1, and the Cashapp is also capital DC Radical 1, and there is the email dc.radical_1 at protonmail.com. Now, what have y'all noticed about the people who are representing Miss, or speaking to Miss Harris? We have Mr. Magic Johnson, Mr. Barack Hussein Obama, and this gentleman from the Shade Room, who I apologize, I do not know his name, who was interviewing her. I mean, they all seem to have something in common. I'm not sure how affluent this gentleman is. There's something more readily apparent that we can all see with over our eyes. You know, they all, in some way, shape, or form, represent the rainbow community. Of course, Mr. Obama appeared on the what was it, Time magazine with a rainbow halo over his head, and it said the first gay president. Now, I didn't do that. Time magazine did that. Y'all blame them, right? And I don't think anybody ever even explained that. They just put it up there. So, right? So that's that. And of course, Mr. Johnson and his son. And this gentleman is obviously representing of the rainbow community. So my thing is, if you want to speak to black men who are men, why are all these rainbow people always popping up? You know, Roland Martin always trying to jump up in somebody's face until people walk up on him. Then he out here looking, you know, like he about to go hide under somebody's skirt. Oh, Ray Bay, look, this is the thing. When he asked the question, you see how quick she pivoted to Donald Trump? Now I'm like, he never did answer that question. Like, she is a mistress. That's the female master of not answering questions. And I remember when somebody that I used to admire, I caught them doing that. I was like, oh man, that's real. Ooh, that's real deceitful. So I'll tell you, I was a minister of Farrakhan one day. Somebody asked him a question. They asked him a question about the lessons, right? For those who know, y'all know my history, right? And many of the lessons that are taught in the Nation of Islam and the 5% Nation, I remember verbatim. And so they asked him a question about the lessons. And he said, brother, he did one of these, like, and brother so-and-so asked me such and such. And he went all around Robin Hood's barn and then went on to something else. And I said, wait a minute. He didn't answer the question. Kamala, she's a mistress of that. Like, her greatest skill is probably not actually answering questions. It doesn't matter how direct you ask them. Like, she's a mistress of that. She's a mistress of answering what you didn't ask. And doing it in such a way with a vast, dizzying array of nonsense and word salad that you have to pause to make sure that, yeah, she didn't even address nothing I said in any way, shape, or form, not even close. You know, like she's worse than a normal politician with that. Because some politicians are just straight lie. They just like, man, I'm gonna answer this in the affirmative when I know good and well that is never going to happen. But I just want to get this person out of my face. You know, she does the opposite of that. So that, brothers and sisters, I just wanted to address this whole situation with Miss Harris Imhoff and her outreach to black men. You know, I wanted to just leave this alone, but I just couldn't. I just couldn't leave it alone. I had to address this. So I don't know if I'll be on the rest of this week. There will be content that will be uploaded, because some of it has already been actually uploaded, but I just haven't set it. You know, I haven't set it for when it's going to come out. But I thank you all for listening. Oh, hold up. We got a super chat real quick. Hold on. Let me get Brother Crow real quick. Brother Crow says, Joan Rivers. That? Oh, hang on. said that Obama was the first homosexual president, and before you know it, she passed away. Yeah, she, you know, she made it seemed like she made more than one controversial statement about Mr. Obama as far as his orientation. And then she wasn't here anymore. I'm sure that's purely a coincidence. But yeah, for those who want to delve further into that, like I said, we talked about Mr. Obama and his proclivities previously. And you can still, I think, look up the Larry Sinclair interview. I also have it in multiple places where Larry Sinclair gave a press conference making allegations about activities that he engaged in with State Senator Obama involving illicit and degenerate activities. I was trying to find a word that I can say. But I think now that we talked about Obama, I think we just hit the third rail and we passed wherever we're gonna go with that. So yeah, so you can find that maybe still on YouTube. He did that at the National Press Club, and yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I put it in the previous video. So if anybody has anything else before we close out. Oh, there's one other thing. I don't know if this is I cannot vouch for the veracity of what I'm about to say. So you would have to look and see for yourselves and kind of wait to see what happens. But there has been an allegation made, and this may be this October surprise, excuse me. There's been an allegation made against Miss Harris M. Hoff's running mate, Mr. Waltz, in regards to inappropriate activity with underage males. So if this story has legs and there appears to be some actual documentation of these events, I'll make a video about it. So I'm just making y'all aware of it. I heard about it within the last few days, but I haven't been able to get any information to verify it. So that's why I haven't really addressed it as of yet. But I just put that out there to be something to look forward to. If something major happens on the front in regards to the situation in what they call the Middle East, I will probably address that as well. For those who don't know, Mr. Biden sent a missile defense system to Israel and also sent some American troops with it, because only American troops know how to utilize this technology. So we do have official boots on the ground in Israel, defending Israel in their ongoing war with Hamas, the Houthis, Hezbollah, and Iran. So we are unfortunately 2 steps closer to open warfare with Iran. The United States of America, are now 2 steps closer to open warfare with Iran than we were, as the war with Russia seems to be winding down, because Russia seems to be just grinding the Ukraine into dust before America can put their boots firmly on the ground there. Although we know they do have people there, and there were American soldiers killed there, quiet as kept. So If those things break majorly, I'll be sure to put some content out, letting people know what's going on. And so with that, brothers and sisters, I thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I thank everyone who donated, and I'll be sure to get those out, send those out this week. Okay, Brother Jarake didn't come through, but Brother Jarake, I got you. You'll be one of the first people to get this as soon as the video is edited. So again, you can follow me on Instagram at dc.radical1, on Twitter at dc_radical_one, on OTW2, but black owned platform at DC Radical1. You can donate via Cashapp at $DC Radical1, and you can email me at dc.radical_one at protonmail.com. With that, I say a BB for ODA and straight black pride. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also follow us on our other social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at dc.radical1. On Twitter, we're at dc_radical_one, and the Cash App is $DC Radical1. Again, thank you for subscribing. A BB for ODA and straight black pride.